Welcome back to another episode of Design Your Life. As always, I'm your host, Jim Mantler. And first things first, I would like to officially welcome all of you to 2026. A new year, a fresh calendar, and for most people, a brand new list of New Year's resolutions. Lose weight, make more money, become more disciplined, be more productive, be more something. But this year is different for me because for the first time in a long time, I found myself not even considering a resolution. Instead, I found myself asking a much deeper question. Why do we feel the need to create a New Year's resolution in the first place? See, when we choose a New Year's resolution, it's usually framed as self-improvement. And on the surface, that sounds healthy. Who wouldn't want to improve their life? But when we really slow down and look at it, a resolution often starts from a different place. It starts with this unspoken belief. There's something about me that isn't good enough. Something I need to fix, or something I need to change. Something I need to become before I feel worthy, confident, or at peace. Now, let me be very clear. I'm not saying we shouldn't grow. I'm not saying we shouldn't evolve. We shouldn't heal or strive to be better. What I am questioning is where that desire comes from. And that brings me to two important questions that I want us to sit with today. Before we can even consider improving or changing who we are, should we not first learn who that is? Should we not first accept that person? Because here's the truth most of us do not like to hear. You cannot truly change yourself from a place of self-rejection. If your resolution is rooted in shame, I'm not enough, I'm too much, I need to be different to be loved, then no matter how disciplined you are, no matter how motivated you feel in January, that change will never feel fulfilling. And, I want to ask you this honestly. Are you changing because you want to love yourself more, or are you changing because you believe that you are unlovable as you are? Those are two very different energies. And because if the goal is self-love, then shouldn't we love ourselves fully and completely right now, even with our flaws, our habits, wounds, and our imperfections? Growth does not require self-hatred. Healing does not require self-punishment. The second question is this. Why do we only focus on a better version of ourselves at the start of a new year? Why January 1st? Why not February 12th or June 3rd or a random Tuesday when something inside you finally clicks, right? The truth is, New Year's resolutions are often more about symbolism than substance. They give us a sense of control, the feeling of a fresh start, a mental reset. But real transformation doesn't happen on a calendar date. It happens in moments of honesty, awareness, and compassion. And most importantly, it happens when we stop chasing a future version of ourselves and start being present with who we are today. We talk about becoming the best version of ourselves, but sometimes that language can be harmful because it implies that who we are right now is somehow the worst version. And I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not failing at life. You are a human being doing the best you can with the tools, awareness, and experiences you currently have. And growth doesn't come from constantly telling yourself, you're not enough. It comes from curiosity. It comes from compassion. It comes from asking, what do I need right now? Instead of what's wrong with me. So if we're not setting resolutions, if we're not trying to fix ourselves, then what do we focus on instead? I want to offer you a different approach to moving into the new year, one rooted in self-acceptance and self-love, not pressure and perfection. Here are a few gentle, practical ways to do that. Number one, shift from goals to intentions. Instead of rigid resolutions, try setting intentions. A resolution says, I must do this or I failed, whereas an intention says, this is how I want to show up. For example, instead of I'm going to lose 20 pounds, I intend to treat my body with respect and care. Instead of I'll stop procrastinating, I intend to listen to myself instead of judging myself. Intentions allow room for humility. They allow flexibility and they allow grace. Number two, practice self acceptance daily. Self acceptance is not a destination, it is a daily practice. And it looks like speaking to yourself kindly when you mess up, allowing emotions without immediately trying to fix them, acknowledging both your strengths and your weaknesses. Try asking yourself each day, can I allow myself to be exactly as I am today? Not forever, just today. Number three, notice where you are already growing. Instead of focusing on what needs to change, ask yourself, where have I already grown this past year? What did I survive that once I couldn't? What patterns am I more aware of right now? Growth isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's quieter. Sometimes it's simply awareness, and awareness alone is powerful. Number four, let go of the timeline. You don't need to have it all figured out this year. You don't need to heal everything. You don't need to become anyone else. You're allowed to move at your own pace. You're allowed to rest and you're allowed to pause. Your worth isn't tied to your productivity. Number five, love yourself where you are, not where you think you should be. This one matters the most because self-love is not conditional. It doesn't say, I'll love myself when I'm healed, or I'll love myself when I'm successful, or I'll love myself when I'm different. It says, I'll love myself now, and growth can happen from here. So as we step into 2026, I want to offer you this invitation. What if this year isn't about becoming someone new, but about coming home to who you already are? What if instead of asking, how do I fix myself, you ask, how do I support myself? What if self-acceptance was the foundation and everything else grew from there? You don't need a New Year's resolution to be worthy. You don't need a new version of yourself to deserve love. You are enough right now as you are. Thank you for spending this time with me on Design Your Life. If this episode resonated with you, I encourage you to sit with it, reflect on it, and maybe even share with someone who needs permission to stop being hard on themselves. Until next time, keep learning, keep healing, and keep designing a life that you feel is true to you.